Siera's bringing a whole lot of bunny love. Very cute team. So we've got a Lopunny, a Sylveon, Diggersby, a Cinderace, a Azumarill, and Calyrex. Well, we're going to do our thing. I'm glad to see no Magearna bunnies. Last year I lost, I think, 4 or 5 games to Magearna sweeps, which were no fun at all. And I don't think we even banned it this year. I think people are just not bringing it because it's really no fun. So, double bunny lead. Lopunny does also get fake out. And I can't remember if it's a faster fake out than Incineroar or not. I'm glad we get the Intimidate down though. They can both also get Ice Punch. I think I'm going to max Airstream into Lopunny. Actually no, we're gonna max Airstream into the Diggersby. And we're going to fake out the Lopunny. We do get our fake out off. We do get our weakness policy procced, which is fantastic. Because we're nice and big, we can't flinch. And we do get to now outspeed the Diggersby, which is no longer alive, so that doesn't really matter. My opponent's taking a bit of time to have a think here. Cinderace, I believe, still may outspeed the Moltres. So we are going to go after... I think we are going to go probably after the Cinderace here. And we're going to go for the parting shot here, just in case we don't take it out. I think it's getting that bunny real big. Means not that saying much. Oh no, okay, it's the Lopunny. Interesting choice. I wonder what it's coming for. Maybe Max Strike to try and balance out the speeds. Ah, very nice from my opponent. Dodges the Max Airstream with the bounce, but it outspeeds. Very well done. So they completely nullify my turn. And get themselves an attack boost to boot. So very well played by my opponent there. Now they can just max guard on their Lopunny, so we are going to go after the Cinderace again. Although I think we're going to probably try and get the parting shot into Lopini. Yeah. And just take out my Incineroar. That's fine. So here comes another Max Knuckle. You just want to make sure that that Cinderace is out of the picture. I think now we want our Orbeetle in to take some of these physical hits. So, Azumarill coming in. We have a Focus Sash and a Citrus Berry, so that is probably a Belly Drum Azumarill then. Which is good to know. And we've got the Focus Sash down on the Lopini. He's going to be hitting a lot harder relative to us now. So I don't want to give the Azumarill the free Belly Drum. So I'm going to just Iron Defense on my Orbeetle here. I'm going to Body Press. Oh, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna Air Slash the Azumarill. Trying to do 3 things at once here. So we don't miss the Air Slash, which is good. That should stop, or if the Azumarill gets the Belly Drum off, it's now going to be it's going to just be able to get the Belly Drum off. So the Moltres does take another chunk, that gets us into Berserk. But if the Azumarill's targeted us, I think we might be going down here. It does go for the Flare off to take out our Moltres. Don't blame them for it in the slightest. So, what do we want to do about this Azumarill? I think we probably want our Rotom in here. Just going to go for the Volt Switch, and I think we're just going to go for the Body Press here and see if we can just take both of our opponent Pokemon down. Both of ours are quite bulky. Admittedly, Rotom's bulky on the special side more than the physical, but my opponent's got Bounce. It's fine. You do take out the Azumarill. We'll just get the Scissor in here. So because the Loopany outspeeds our orbital, we can just go for the body press again when it comes down from the bounce. The only thing we have to worry about is getting fully paralysed. So, what does my opponent have left? They have the Sylveon and the Calyrex still. I think we still have a couple of things that can take on that Calyrex, so I might just go for the Sword Stance here. Sword Stance and Body Press. And if the Sylveon has Mystical Fire, so be it. Loopany goes down to Body Press. Body Press Orbital with an Iron Defense up is pretty nasty. My opponent does just go for the Wish. I wonder if the Wish protects Sylveon. Right, because we can dual Wing Beat the Calyrex now. And then take that down quite comfortably. Just gonna hit a Store of Power on the Sylveon and see how much that does. Shouldn't do much. Sylveon is pretty naturally bulky. And it has a Wish up as well, so yeah, Store Power's not doing much yet. That was a crit too, so Store Power's doing nothing. Opponent's going for the Calm Mind. I'm not sure if they realise what my Scissor can do to it. My Scissor does have a Sword Stance up, so I don't expect, unless the dual Wing Beat misses, I don't expect this Calyrex is going to live. Yeah. Critical hit totally mattered. And they do have Mystical Fire, but for whatever reason they go after the Orbital with it, which is an interesting choice. Scissor would, I think, be the better target by far. With the Sword Stance up, I'm pretty sure my Bullet Punch is going to come fairly close to one-shotting that Sylveon. In fact, I start to suspect yeah, we do get the one-shot there on the Sylveon. That was actually my opponent's last Pokemon, so good game to my opponent, Siera. I look forward to a rematch. Alright, it is the same run of bunnies. I wonder if my opponent's going to make the same lead. So I think my Rotom Scissor backup lead is going to do really poorly into that. So I might just go Incineroar plus... You know what, I'm going to go Incineroar Rotom. If they lead the same way again, I'm going to just Hydro Pump Diggersby and see how much damage I can do. we have a different lead here. We have the Azumarill, and we have the Loki. It's nice to get the Intimidate down onto both the physical attackers. We're gonna go after the Azumarill, I think. That was definitely my bigger concern of these two here. The Loki, when it maxed last time, didn't do a whole lot of damage. So I'd like to see what it can do, and if it can't do anything much, then I'm happy to just let it sit on the other side. I'll take that off. One of the Loki is going for its own. It's not. That's fine. I have no problem because I didn't target you. Alright, so we've got it down below belly drum. And I set the Citrus Grower, so it is getting back up, but it just means that its belly drum becomes a much harder thing to set up. Yeah. What do we want to do with this? I think the Orbeetle is a good option here. Bounce is going to do a fair bit to it. But Bounce is also probably not targeting others. I'm just going to parting shot the Azumarill here. And we're going to set up an iron defense on our Orbeetle. My opponents dislike my Incineroar so much. I feel like that's really, really unfair. They're just so mean to it. So we're going to run a attack up on the Azumarill. So the Azumarill at -2, the Loki's at -1. This means we can just get back into our loading with the first stuff. I'm going to see if he has any... I'm going to see if she has anything on her team that's ground up. I think it's the biggest key that it is. So the Volt Switch is kind of obvious there. I think we might just start throwing some burns out. And we're just going to go for a second Iron Defense to see if there's a bounce coming out of the way. So locally here. If it does opt to go for the upper jet, it actually hurts them more than it hurts me. Okay, it goes with close combat into broken, which also doesn't do a whole lot of damage, I was going to say, and does drop my opponent's stats. So, you can have a burn. And now the Loki can have a burn. And we'll also throw a Betty Fessor on it as well. Now, if my opponent's smart, they will actually bounce here and dodge it. But at this point, I'm pretty sure the Azumarill is going to be doing more damage to my Orbeetle if it hits it than it is to... it's going to do more damage to itself if it hits me than it is to me. Well, it did last time, so it certainly is this time. Even with a play off, I think it's still probably going to do more damage there. We just go for another Upper Jet, does nothing. Take a good chunk out of him. My opponent does go for the bounce, so that's very well played. So now we're just going to will-o-wisp the locally slot, and we're going to ally switch here. See if we can't get them to bounce into my Rotom, and maybe Aquajet into the Orbeetle. There we go. Now, opponents having no more of this, so they want that Rocky Helmet out of there. Unfortunately for them, the Rocky Helmet does take them out. And I think if you get knocked out or try to take it off, it doesn't actually remove the item. So probably should have gone for that first. I am reasonably certain I still have that Rocky Helmet on. Yeah, to check once my opponent's in their last Pokemon. And here comes the Diggersby. So Diggersby can also have a burn. And we're also going to hit it with a Body Press. Loki's just going for another bounce. You don't want to play bouncing enemies with it. We'll body press it next turn if we're still alive with the Orbeetle and guarantee ourselves to hit that hole. There we go. Giving everyone a burn here. Don't go for the Rock Slide. You might get the flinch. You might be a bit problematic for your Orbeetle. It is so bulky now. Yeah, we do get the flinch. Alright, now it's time to swap the Rotom out and something else because we are locked into Will-o-Wisp here, and that's not ideal, so we're just going to swap back around into our Incineroar, get another Intimidate off on everyone. We do intimidate the Loki, even though it's right up in the sky. That bounce doesn't do a whole lot anymore, and the Rocky Helmet is still intact. Fortunately for my opponent, we do dodge a Rock Slide on the Incineroar. I would have actually rather dodge it on the Orbeetle, to be perfectly honest. Or we still get the Body Press off. Now I can fake out one of my opponent's Pokemon, which is nice. Here comes the Sylveon. So I can't do a whole lot to the Sylveon with my Orbeetle. We are just going to fake that one out and hope that that's not the one that maxes. And see if we can't get a Body Press off on the Diggersby if we don't get flinched from the Rock Slide. Doesn't, thankfully, so we do get our fake that off. Comes a Rock Slide again. So after Intimidate and Burn, it's still not doing very much for us. We are able to take it out with Body Press. Cinderace. Really quite strong. We are going to just try and body press it, I think. I'm just going to parting shot the Sylveon and swap into the Scizor if we can. I expect my opponent may want to max their Cinderace here. Maybe a max Knuckle into the Incineroar to try and bring it down. I also don't want challenges getting stuck on me, so I'm trying not to play this as hyper aggressively as I can. Okay, Foxy Sylveon does just detect, and we do see a max Knuckle. As I said, I hope that they're doing it into the Incineroar and not the Orbeetle. Yeah, if they max Knuckled the Orbeetle, they'd be looking really silly right now, because that would have done just nothing. Down goes Incineroar. Yeah, this is Body Press does. Body Press still does a very good chunk to my opponent. So the question is, do we want to keep just using the same 3 Pokemon? Or do we want to get the Scizor out there as well? Scizor would make my life easier, but I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick to using my first 3 Pokemon. See if we can how we go with just these 3 for now. My opponent still has a Calyrex in the back, so I think that's probably going to need a different Pokemon to help take it out. We're going to go for the Hydro Pump and Body Press here. Another Max Knuckles coming in. Into the Rotom. Very wise of my opponent to not punch the Orbeetle again. And we'll see if we can get an attack off with the Orbeetle. We do get an attack off with the Orbeetle before it goes down, presumably to the Sylveon's Hyper Voice. And that does finally take out the Orbeetle. So we're going to go with our Scizor and our Domanitan. And we'll just leave Moltres in reserve in the back. And we'll see how much damage this Bullet Punch does to the Sylveon, and the Fire Punch does to the Calyrex, assuming you got them. Yep. And take me out first. Don't quite take out the Sylveon. We do take out the Calyrex. And this Distant Fire is going to come in and he's going to smack around our Scizor quite nicely, but this is actually pretty fat. It was living the Fire Blast from the Hydreigon at -2, so it is also living the Mystical Fire from the Sylveon. And we're just going to Bullet Punch and Iron Head to finish this off. GG to my opponent, happy to have another match. I am happy for my opponent to pick their lead as well against me if they want to. I feel like this is a bad omen because I'm already surrounded by bunnies in game. Let's get away from the bunnies. They're clearly cheering for the other person. Yeah, this is the third time playing this opponent, so I've given them the opportunity to pick. Yeah, this is the third time I'm playing this particular opponent. And last time I beat them without even... Not only did I not Dynamax, but I also didn't even get my Moltres on the field. So I've told them to let me know what lead they want to face up against, so they can kind of prepare in advance. They've requested Rotom and Moltres as my lead. So yes, it makes the battle a bit fairer. And I see we've got a Magearna on the team now as well. Magearna is not fun to battle against. So we're gonna just see what we can do. But this could well be a loss coming in. So I think this is my opponent's full strength bunny team from last year. I wonder if the Magearna is there to blow up my Moltres. If it is, I might Volt Switch into the Incineroar to get the fake out if I can, and maybe protect and see if I can live the hit. Or maybe just max it, and I can't really hit the Magearna, that's the problem. Both the flying and dark types are resisted by the Magearna. So yes, we are seeing the Magearna out on the field right from turn 1. Question is, do we want to try tricking that Magearna something? I don't think we do. I think we just want to get out of here, the Volt Switch. And I'm going to protect the Moltres and see what we can do with that. So this is giving my opponent the opportunity to set up, basically. With the Magearna is it gets Soul Heart, so every time a Pokemon on the field gets knocked out on its side or its opponent's side, it gets a 50% special attack boost. Which makes it really, really nasty, and you have to take care of it as quickly as you possibly can. And unfortunately for me, I don't have a very good answer for it. So we're either going to go into the Incineroar, or we could just go into the Orbeetle maybe. I think we're going to try going into the Orbeetle here. So that's Body Crystal, but I can at least find out what's going on. So Choice Band and Leftovers. So Giga Impact goes into my Moltres, doesn't work. And the Flare Cannon also goes into my Moltres. So, we're not going to Dynamax that. I think we're going to Ally Switch. And we're going to start max Airstreaming here. And hope we can live the Flare Cannon if it does target that slot. See if my opponent remembers that I have Ally Switch. Alright, so the orbital leaves the hit, does a little bit of chip back, and there's probably a flare cannon coming in. To my poor little orbital as well. I'd actually rather the flare cannon target the other slot, to be honest, because I'd rather not have 2 soul heart boosts on it when it goes in. Yeah, so that's got 2 soul heart boosts on it now. I think what we're going to be doing to it is max airstreaming it and fire punching it. And if that doesn't get through it, then I think we're in trouble. Right now we're playing Kill the Magiana. So after that it's going to be a scissor bullet punch as my last ditch hope against it. And we do still have the Cinderace to deal with as well, which is not ideal. Cinderace is fast. Hopefully can't one-shot my Darmanitan. So we are going to max airstream here, and we're going to fire punch. I'm a little concerned that the double up on the Moltres is just going to take it out. I think it almost certainly is going to take it out, especially with the 2 soul heart boosts. I think the McGinn is probably just going to take the Moltres out on its own with 2 soul heart boosts. But I'm hoping what we can do here is get the Moltres up, speed up on the Darmanitan, and get the Darmanitan to KO the Magiana, or get the Magiana low rather, and then hopefully be able to finish off the Magiana with a bullet punch from the Scizor, or from something else. It's actually pretty slow, so I'm not too worried about the speed there. We do need a bit of speed here. Find it going for max Steel Spike. Interesting. Trying to get some defense boosts up. Okay. Doesn't take us into Berserk range either. It does mean that my Fire Punch is doing a whole lot less to this Magiana than it otherwise would be. And we're definitely going down to the beginners. Oh no, we do just take out the Magiana with the Fire Punch. That Sheer Force Life Orb boosted Fire Punch is pretty nasty. I'm not sure what my opponent wants to bring in here. Because they're now staring down. They're now staring down to what to them probably looks like some fairly problematic Pokemon. I don't know if this airstream will be enough to KO it, it's not, it's Steel type currently. I also don't think it can KO me back, and now we're really nice and fast, so they are getting into Flying type, that's fine. But I did outspeed it this turn, which means I still outspeed it now. And my Domanitan goes bye-bye. Which is a pity. I was hoping the Domanitan would be the one to live, and then I could have a bit of fun with the Domanitan now that it's got a couple of speed boosts on it. But it looks like it's not to be. My opponent's just going for the bounce. And I've already lost my Orbeetle, which is my best bounce counter. So that's a pity. I think we're just going to protect here with the Moltres. So we're going to go for the Volt Switch. Let's see if we can get us into Berserk range here. So my opponent does get faster than us again, but it also gets us into Berserk. And they remain flying type, which means my Volt Switch is going to be hitting them for super effective. I don't think the Rotom dodging there really matters too much because the critical hit might have mattered. Rotom dodging didn't matter, but the critical hit might have mattered. And now I think we can just go for the Fiery Wrath and the Bullet Punch. Make sure this bunny doesn't overrun us. The Nova is nice. Unfortunately for my opponent, I didn't hit it first, so something else is going to have to come in and take the Fiery Wrath. Azumarill is probably the best person, or the best Pokemon on my opponent's team to do it, because it does resist it. Alright, now comes the Sylveon. So now my Fiery Wrath is not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. So I think we're just going to Air Slash. We're just going to get a nice chunk of damage onto the Sylveon with the Bullet Punch. You need to be careful we're not left in the end game with just the Incineroar against these Fairy types though. Incineroar can't, its only attacking moves are Fake Out and Darkest Lariat, which are not going to do much to these Fairy types. So we want the Fairy types low, especially Sylveon, which I think probably has Wish. I think we saw has Wish on it. We definitely want the Sylveon nice and low, so we can take it out with a Fake Out and Darkest Lariat combo if we have to. The Aqua Jet is not enough to take out my Moltres. Hyper Voice is going to do so, but before we do get a good chunk of damage off onto the Azumarill. It does get its Citrus Berry. We are keeping it low. And Mystical Fire is going to be enough to... Well, actually doesn't take out the Moltres. It does get a special attack drop though, which is nice for my opponent. But we are going to just Fiery Wrath. No, we're gonna Air Slash here, I think. Actually, I think we can protect and Bullet Punch the Sylveon here and give ourselves a safer win condition. I feel kind of bad doing this to my opponent. I could just press buttons and give them the win, but I don't want to do that. I hate just giving people wins. I hate it when people just give me wins. I'd much rather actually work for it and get the win. I'm going to play somewhat properly still. my opponent's just doing the maths here and is realising they're probably in some trouble. Because I can just take out the Sylveon. Oh, Sylveon does actually protect as well, so if the Azumarill targets the Scissor, then they're probably going to win out in this particular engage. But we do just attack into each other's protects, which is kind of funny. I am just going to air slash into the Azumarill. Azumarill will outspeed me with the Aqua Jet and get the KO, but I don't really mind that too much. I'm still going to get the KO. Oh, Sylveon goes for the double and it gets it, so my opponent could actually come out ahead here. They made the correct play and I did not. Well done to them. I think they had to do that. They had to do that and they had to get that to work. Otherwise, I think they were going to be in some trouble. Because now the Sylveon goes down to the Bullet Punch, 100%. We get the attack drop on the Azumarill. It's doing even less damage with his Aqua Jet to my Incineroar. I can just fake out the Azu anyway. And we Bullet Punch here. I've still got the Rotom in the back to help chunk the Azumarill as well. And then if my opponent, I think it's just their Lopunny in the back to go. Just should be able to take out. What's my Pokemon currently? I think it's already got some damage on it. I could be completely misremembering though. All of the battles start blurring together after a while. It is the Lopunny with a bit of damage on it. So we're going to see how we go. The Darkest Lariat into the Lopunny. And the Bullet Punch of the Azumarill. Lopunny's probably going to outspeed us in bounce, which is going to be irritating. But we should hit it the second time around. Bullet Punch does take out the Azumarill. And the Close Combat does not take out our Incineroar. Doesn't even get us into barrier range. And now there's Darkest Lariat with the defense up to KO it. Do this to my opponent.